Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you made it. I found myself in front of 25 people from Shoal Lake, Ontario, a few years ago telling my story living with HIV/AIDS. It made me feel like I was in my home community, Rosa River, Manitoba. It made me feel safe with my own people. I stood and I spoke my story. They had one person living with HIV/AIDS and died of the virus, living on the reserve alone with no help. I knew why I was there, to help others break stigma. The reserve was there to learn. All 25 people listened. I went outside to have a smoke, and that is where one lady came up to me and told me she had a daughter living outside of the community that had HIV/AIDS. She said I had a good story. I could tell she was scared for her daughter, but showing up to the workshop was a good place to start. She talked a little bit about her, and they wanted her to come and live on the community with the family, then turned to tears in her eyes. I told her to stand up for her daughter, go to appointments, stay with her, make sure she takes her meds. Just like she was on her path to connect with her daughter, but hit a dark spot and never knew where to walk. I felt like I shined a light in the darkness for her and said the path is this way. As for my path, I found 9 circles in Winnipeg. I was having coffee at Tim Hortons. Days went by and I sat by the window and I had my coffee, watching people go in and out of 9 circles. One day I walked in. That is where I found my infectious disease doctor, Dr. Casper, behind the counter. My my doctor spoke up and said, "Lisa, what are you doing here?" I said, "No, what are you doing here?" He said I found a good place. I was so confused, I told him, "You work at HSC." He said, "I know, but I also work here at 9 circles." Off to work he went. He put me on the food bank list. And off we went learning. We went learning, workshops, meetings, and conferences across Canada, meeting a lot of people from everywhere, especially the lived experience. Learned some new tricks along the way. In public, I had to change my hat from not having HIV/AIDS to having people that understood what I was going through. In the meantime, I had a full-time job at Shell, 6 years as a cashier. My boss was a small man whom I trusted a lot. I went in for my annual checkup with my doctor. He ran blood work and called me to his office. That is when I found out I was HIV positive. I decided to tell my boss. I told him I needed to talk to him in private, so he took me by the coffee stand. I burst out crying and he understood what I was saying. He always said to be honest with them, so I thought I was doing the right thing. I went to work like clockwork. About a week and a half went by, things changed. My coworkers started talking like they always had, but this time was different. They talked about HIV and AIDS. I was not expecting that. I just listened. What my coworker was saying was stigma. If you drink a liter of their spit that is infected with HIV, you can catch a sickness. I wanted to end my shift there, but I had to finish a few hours. I was so confused, mad, alone. I knew he told them because why would a conversation come up like that? Right there, I did not trust my boss anymore. It was a private conversation he should have kept to himself. I got sick twice with AIDS before I left my job for my health's sake. It was the best thing in the world I did. I took care of my health and met new people. I had to fight stigma within myself first. I remember I was 6 years old and watching cartoons. When the commercials came on, that was the first time I heard of HIV/AIDS. They were asking for donations to help fight HIV/AIDS across the world. What was shown was not a pretty picture. They had people of color, especially little children. They were lying down on the hard cement, sick with the disease. I remember skin and bones, flies bothering them. The information I knew, these children were dying and please donate to help find a cure. I thought it would happen over there, not here. The visions of those commercials hit me hard. I kind of didn't understand yet, but now I watch carefully what is being viewed because we need to protect ourselves. Now I have been living with HIV/AIDS for 14 years. I am now U equals U, undetectable, untransmittable, and loving every day of my life now. My 22-year-old daughter, I'm glad to see her grow up to be a wonderful person, and many more to come.